From the Lake Point Sports Complex in Metro Atlanta, it's the 2019 Travel Ball Select 10U National Championships, where today it's North Carolina's SBA Futures taking on IM Baseball from the Sunshine State, the state of Florida. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us right back here at the Lake Point Sports Complex in Metro Atlanta. Back alongside the Executive Director of Travel Ball Select, Rick Goff, here with the play-by-play story this afternoon and most likely into the evening. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Well, a marquee match. I got you on that one, didn't I?
You did.
A marquee matchup indeed between the number one team in America, the SBA Futures from the state of North Carolina. Tonight, this evening, the Tar Heel State meets the Sunshine State as Florida's IM Baseball, a national-ranked team, well, an honorable mention team. And there's no slight in being an honorable mention team. There are only so many teams that can be ranked, for goodness sake. But an honorable mention team in the national rankings versus the number one team in the national rankings. And SBA Futures from the state of North Carolina coming out of the elimination bracket. We don't like to call it the losers bracket, the elimination bracket. There you see the number one team in America from North Carolina. You see at the bottom of your screen, IM Baseball, the program from the state of Florida, coming out of the winners bracket, or the undefeated bracket, if you will. This is an unbelievably high-level marquee matchup. Yeah,
this is something that we've been looking forward to. Since the semifinal game took place earlier, two high-powered teams, great defense, great pitching. SBA Futures has to battle back out of the elimination bracket, which they've done so, to force this game here. This is a double elimination tournament, so unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, SBA has to beat IM Baseball twice to claim the title from this point forward. IM just takes one win to take it home.
By the way, a scheduling reminder, if this ball game goes to a second game of the double elimination, we unfortunately will not be able to have the broadcast for you live here on Facebook Live. Just the way it is sometimes in this business. I'll not bore you with the details. We just won't be here for the second game of that broadcast.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. But we will have this broadcast for you here, and as Rick mentioned, if Florida is able to win it, they'll be the national champions. If North Carolina wins it, they will force a final game coming up about a half hour after the conclusion of this one for the title. North Carolina to the plate first. You see their starting lineup: McCammon, Carroll, and Newell. You're guaranteed three here in the first. Whit McCammon takes strike one. On the mound for the undefeated boys from the state of Florida, it is Gavin Ruvalcaba. Ruvalcaba takes a deep breath, and the left-hander kicks and fires. And this little cue shot off the end of the bat, headed down towards the second baseman. No problem for Carry On, who throws him out. Defensive lineup for the boys from Florida. In the outfield, left to right, it's going to be Wade, Cruz, and Saladino. Again, Wade, Cruz, and Saladino left to right in the outfield. On the infield, third to first, it's Cabral, Caballero, Carry On, and Kentos. All C's on the infield lineup. Cabral, Caballero, Carry On, and Kentos. Fernandez behind the plate, receiving the pill from the lefty, who kicks and fires. And that one shot into right. Pretty well hit, but moving back on it is Saladino, out number two. Two quick outs to start the ball game.
Yeah, and that's going to be key for IM Baseball. You know, they want to come out here, put up a goose egg in the first inning. They want to go and score some runs, because playing with the lead is always so much easier than playing behind without trying to be too obvious. But it's crucial that they put this high potent offense in the dugout and give themselves a chance to come up here and score first.
Ruvalcaba kicks and fires. That one catches the outside corner. Great framework by Fernandez behind the plate. We had a great angle at it here. You saw him drop his right leg down to the turf, parallel with the turf. Great frame job with fastball in the outside corner. Tyler Newell off the hands, down to second. Everything on the right side. That's a good sign for Ruvalcaba and the IM Baseball program. Bottom half of the first coming up. Two ground outs to the second baseman, a fly out to the right fielder. Now the honorable mention ranked club, IM Baseball, one win away from the national championship, will send their troops to the plate. Let's first look at the defense for North Carolina. In the outfield, it's going to be Carroll, Hucko, and Montgomery left to right. Again, Carroll, Hucko, and Montgomery left to right. On the infield, McCammon, Newell, Thompson, and Talmadge. That's third to first with McCammon, Newell, Thompson, and Talmadge. Webb behind the plate to receive the pill from none other than Griff McCain. And here's the lineup that McCain will face. Alec Cruz, Bladen Caballero, and David Saladino, your guaranteed 3 in the home half of the first. Asensio, Cabral, and Wade in the middle of the lineup. Fernandez, Rubalcaba, and Cantos round down the lineup. Carry On will be your 10th place hitter. All right, so give us a scouting report on each of these clubs, Rick. Of course, you're the executive director. You've seen all of these teams numerous times throughout the week. You've been burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
Tell us what you know about both of these teams.
Well, SBA comes in from North Carolina, highly anticipated, highly ranked. They've been the number 1 team in the country for 2 years running. They were the number 1 team at 9U. They've carried that over at 10U. They're led by their pitching and their defense, as you can see from the runs they allowed this week here. They don't give up a lot of runs. They're able to put up a lot of runs. Not really a big power hitting team like we've seen with the Banditos early on, but they put the ball in play and they put a lot of pressure on you on the defensive end. IM Baseball is a team that was formed earlier this year. They're a brand new team. They split off from another organization in the Miami, Florida area, and they've really come into their own here as of late. And this weekend here, they've run the gauntlet in the pool play, and they come through the championship bracket here unscathed. And now they're in a great position to take home a national championship. They're 1 win away from doing that today, to take home the rings.
McCain set, lefty deals. Second time today that we've seen McCain on the mound for the boys from North Carolina. So he will not, by the way, because of pitch limits. One thing we've got guaranteed going into this ball game is that McCain will not be able to fire a complete game today. He will not have the innings needed to go the entire distance. And in the interest of full disclosure, I do not remember how many innings he threw in his other plate, his other appearance today, but I'll try to get that number together for you as he faces Alec Cruz, the center fielder, to lead things off.
And the magic number today for those boys is 6 innings or 18 outs is what it is. That's what they get for the entire day. So whatever he threw in the last game, subtract that from 18, that's what he has available for this game here.
We'll get that number together for you a little bit later. Righty versus lefty to start things. Got a piece. Boy, we're getting absolutely peppered with foul balls up here. Is that what that is? That's absolutely wild. Got multiple games going on at the same time here at the park at Lake Point in Emerson, Georgia. We're just up the I-75 corridor. Just up the road a piece from downtown Atlanta. Swing and a miss, and Cruz is going on strikes. First strikeout of the ball game for either club. And here's Bladen Caballero. There's 28 on your screen. Bladen, coach's kid. Got a piece off the end of the bat and foul. McCain went 1 inning, had 1 inning worth of work in his previous appearance. Thank you, sir. So he will have 5 at his disposal if, of course, he can go that far in this ball game. 0-1 to Caballero. Make it 0-2. North Carolina, SBA Futures 4-0 inside of pool play. 4-0. Well, they outscored opponents 32-6. They were the number 1 team entering bracketed play. Number 1 seed after pool play.
Correct, number 1 seed.
Right. 4-0 in pool play, 32-6 they outscored opponents. Then they got into the tournament. They have lost a ball game, as we mentioned. They lost to this very same Florida squad in the winners bracket championship, if you will. Both teams sat at 2-0. That was a 6-5 final. Ball game that you were fortunate enough to take in here, what was that, last night or yesterday afternoon late, Rick? A thrilling 6-5 game that might have been the best game of the tournament so far. First, a ground ball down to short. And Caballero retired, 2 men gone.
Yeah, that game last night went 8 innings. Went 8 innings. It was tied to 3-3 after 6. They went. Each one of them scored 1 run in the 7th inning, and when we got to the 8th inning, IM Baseball put up 2 in the top of the 8th, and the Futures could only muster 1 run in the bottom for a 6-5 final. But it was an exciting game all the way around. 8-inning baseball game for 10U. We just saw a 9-inning game right before this one. So, the great baseball is being played all the way around here at the TbS 10U National Championships out here at Lake Point.
David Saladino now, the right fielder for the Sunshine State boys. Back into the screen. And an 0-2 count.
We've got the fences set up at 200 feet today, Chris, and people say, well, that may be a little short, for these kids, but 10 years old, it's about the right size.
Yeah, sure.
And you look into it now, we've played our 4 games, or into our 4th game, and how many home runs have we seen hit in those games?
Well, I'll tell you exactly. Was that a rhetorical question, or you want to know the number? I'll think about it, but go ahead with your point.
Well, my point is good pitching will beat good hitting, and we've seen good pitching all day long to keep the bats at bay.
6.
6.
We've had 6 on the park here today.
How many by the Banditos?
4.
4, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They can swing it.
End of 1, no score. Back at Lake Point Sports Complex, Eli Webb, John Hucko, Brax Thompson. Visitors half of the second frame. Number 1 team in America from the state of North Carolina, the SBA Futures, who finished pool play. We were talking about the performance for these guys earlier. First the pitch. Off the outside corner, count even. 4-0 in pool play, 32-6 to 6. They outscored their opponents. I mentioned that. 3-1 in bracketed play, 36-19. They've outscored their opponents in bracketed play. 36 runs in 4 ball games. How about that number? So 68-25. 68-25 in 7 ball games. 8 ball games, I beg your pardon, Rick Goff. What a number. That sounds like a number 1 team.
And they lost the game.
Right.
And they lost
to this very club. Down the right field line, that ball curving and out of play.
And basically, they've picked up this year right where they left off last year. Those staggering numbers are no different than what they seen last year, touring the country. They traveled all over. They went to Florida and up and down North Carolina and everything last year. So they're not afraid of competition. They welcome it, as a matter of fact. And I talked to Travis a little bit before the game, and I asked him, how do you approach being the number 1 team in the country with a bullseye on your back every single game?
Oh, swing and a miss by Webb. That ball was 4 inches off the plate because of where Fernandez was set up out of the box, and because that I'm going to tell you something. That almost looked like a little two-seam fastball that ran away from the plate. I don't know that it was. Can this kid throw a two-seamer, Rick? What did it look like to you?
I tell you what, it looked exactly like a two-seamer. And don't fool yourself to think that these kids don't know the difference between a two-seam and a four-seam. It's a lot different than our baseball was back in the day. The training these kids get nowadays is just it would just make you your eyes pop out of your head.
Here's John Hucko, by the way.
They take it very seriously of the training they do. These kids train almost year-round to a fault. There's no more off-season.
Right.
And, that type of thing is not for everyone.
Chopper at second. No problem. Hucko retired by carry-on. You know what? That's a great topic that you bring up, and of course it is a hot-button topic. And
big hot button.
Travel baseball has gotten such a bad rap, and I've spent the last 10 years of my life defending it, saying it's not travel baseball that's blowing these kids' arms out and making them too tired and burned out on the game of baseball. That's just playing a little too much and knowing when to back off and when to play more and which kids crave playing more and which kids need the break. Left field base hit, Brax Thompson. First hit of the ball game for either club, and Thompson aboard with 2 men out. But you're right, some of these kids, it's to a fault.
It's to a fault. And listen, not everybody is built the same. You and I are not built the same. I mean, what you may think is right and good for you might not be right for me.
Right.
And I try to relay that point to parents all the time.
Going to get the force at second and in the inning. By the way, that ball was hit very solidly by Hayden Talmadge.
Right on the screws.
Just hit it right at somebody. Just hit it right at the second baseman carry-on, who got the force at the second base bag. Tell you what, we'll take ourselves a really quick break and continue the point when we come back in a scoreless affair. A hard lash, not quite down the left field line, but past the third base bag and into left field for a base hit. So Mark Asensio, the extra hitter, delivers the first hit of the ball game for the boys from Florida. IM Baseball with their leadoff man aboard in the second inning. Let's take another look. Inside corner, turned on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Got him on the inside corner. He dropped the barrel head, got it through there, and got it past the third baseman before he even knew what was by him there.
Indeed.
I think it might have been a little case, too, that, he probably was not in a ready position here. I was kind of sitting here kind of watching between pitches to see what he does here.
Here's Alejandro Cabral. Cabral, the third baseman for Florida in this ball game. So we were talking about it last half inning. Look, a lot of this is on it. The kids. A lot of the kids got to tell you when they're getting tired, when they don't want to play.
Yeah.
Parents have to be aware of when their kids do and do not want to play. Coaches, of course, are part of the solution. Look at this. Oh, when he got around the tag, did he get around the tag? He must have. That can be the only call, as the ball absolutely had beaten Asensio to the bag. We're going to have ourselves any sort of a challenge here? Well,
yeah, I got a feeling
possibly.
Travis is going to go out here and he's going to want to challenge this play. This is exactly what you're taught to do as a runner, though. If you're picked off, you need to just keep on running it because anything is possible and anything can happen.
Yeah, he's out.
Well, we're going to get a challenge here. You know, the nice thing is not for us up to decide. We've got replay guys up here to kind of figure it out. So looks like Travis has made an official challenge, and we're going to come up here, and they're going to take a look at it, and they're going to see all the different angles and the views that they can, and they're going to make a decision.
I think the field umpire may have thought that the swipe tag missed him, but on the replay, and of course I don't want to make the decision here. We've got the officials coming over to the screen as we speak, but you could plainly see that the tag was applied before the connection with the second base back.
This gives us an opportunity. People are probably confused. We haven't had a chance to talk about it.
That's exactly right.
We've talked about it in the other games.
You're right. We haven't addressed it here in the championship.
What we're doing this year is we are bringing in instant replay to the game. We have the coaches are able to challenge 2 plays throughout the game, and if they are successful on both of them, we'll give them a third challenge. If they lose either one of the 2 challenges, then they are going to only have the 2 challenges, and they'll be out after that. So he's come upstairs now. They've got the replay booth going on right now. They're taking a look at this. They're seeing, more angles than what we're seeing right here. So they're talking about it right now. They're running it back and forth and kind of seeing what they have. But we're using an NCAA modified replay version. There's signs hanging in the dugouts of what they can and cannot challenge. It's clear, this is definitely a play that falls under that category. So they're able to challenge this, and that's when Travis come out and let him know that that's what they wanted to do.
Just had a conversation, Rick. Again, it's so interesting. Part of what I love about this is not just the opportunity to get the calls right via replay. And these officials, they have one of the toughest jobs in all of sports, one of the toughest jobs you'll ever do.
Thankless, too. Thankless.
Oh, I hate when people just absolutely hammer officials. You want to try to do it, you come on out here and try to do it and see how well you can do it. But that's a soapbox topic for another day. Part of what I love about this is that to hear the conversation for the officials. I just took the headset off while you were explaining to everyone how this thing was working, and hearing the head official and the umpire getting together, talking about it, the flex of the glove, the movement of the leg, the jersey, the pants rather, as the tag was applied. And I mentioned it to the home plate umpire, and I said, he just thought that he missed the tag, didn't he? And he said that's exactly what it looked like to both of us down on the field. And so now they come up here, they see the replay, and the call's reversed.
Yeah, we see the replay, the call's reversed, and the main thing is that, that we want to make sure that we get it right, and that's exactly what we use the replay for. And just to let people know out there, this is something new that we're using this year. We're going to use it moving forward in travel ball select events. And the thing about it is, this is the first youth tournament in the entire country that has been used, going to be using instant replay at the youth level.
Making some history.
Yeah, we're making some history today, and I Am Baseball probably wishes we would have waited another couple of weeks for the history-making things, as he lost a base runner on that challenge. So now Travis has been successful. SBA Futures is successful. He has one more challenge available to him. If he challenges again, gets it right, we'll give him a third one. So if he misses the second one, then he's out of challenges. So you got to be smart about when to use them, and definitely that one worked out in his favor.
A hit apiece. Both men have been stranded on the base paths. Each team with a solid single in their second trip to the plate. Each team with a hit in the second inning. Got him. I suppose I said a moment ago that he was stranded, but of course he's been picked off. Caught stealing.
Yeah, it's a caught stealing.
Right. North Carolina stranded their man on the base paths in the second inning. Now a caught stealing of Asensio. So 2 men out, nobody on, and here's Martin Wade.
I know it's early on in the game, but both these left-handers seem to be in control of more than one pitch. They're managing the strike zone very, very well. They're attacking the hitters, and they're moving the ball in and out, and they look fantastic.
Gavin Rubel-Caba, the man on the mound for Florida. Meanwhile, Griff McCain is the man on the mound right now for the men from the Tar Heel State. Lefty kicks and fires. Well, either a curveball that he left up a little bit and got the strike call on, or a changeup that he dropped right in. Something off speed.
Yeah, it's a lot of times hard to tell, with this age group because
Right.
the pitching mound is so close. But we
Got it.
do know that one did hit him.
No guesswork needed there.
No, that one's pretty clear cut there.
So 2 men out. And now runner on first. That's Wade. And here comes Matthew Fernandez.
I'm sure the hitter was hoping that would have been an off-speed pitch that got him, but it looked like that was a fastball that got him right in the shoulder blade.
Yeah, he's still stinging, isn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to walk that one off a little bit and rub it out. You can see him there flexing the shoulder. Must have got him right there in the shoulder blade area. But you know what? For right now, he'll be fine. Tomorrow morning he'll feel that one.
At what age do you think it is? And I should remember this from my youth, but I don't know why I don't. At what age do you think you start to turn into the young man who says, I'm not going to let the pitcher or the other team see that actually hurt? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we have the old thing about don't let them see that you're banged up, that it bothered you that you got hit by a pitch. When do you think that change is made?
You know what? It's
funny. It's a funny topic.
Different. It goes back to what we talked about with the training, and it's different for everybody. Because, Travis, I'm going to tell you, I've watched a lot of games this weekend. I've seen kids get hit like that and lay on the ground. And, we have a physical trainer here that's right on site to attend to any injuries that may have occurred. And I've seen kids at 10 years old get hit, and they lay on the ground, and they turn over, and it takes them a while to get up. I saw a kid get hit in the head with a fastball, knocked him to the ground. He bounced right up and ran to first base.
You just never know, huh?
You just never know. So, with that kid, I actually had to stop the game when he got hit in the head. He went down to first base, and I had to stop the game to get the trainer out there because we want him looked at with the concussion protocols the way they are today and everything else. So we wouldn't continue the game until we had him checked out. Fortunately, the young man was fine. He passed the concussion protocol, and he was able to stay in the game.
2 men reaching the inning. Nobody able to scratch across the plate. Still scoreless in Metro Atlanta. Back at the picturesque Lake Point Sports Complex here in the northwest portion of Metro Atlanta, just as you get ready to get into the foothills of the North Georgia mountains.
Look at
Quite
that picture.
the scene.
Look at that picture. I'm a lucky man. This is my job, week in and week out, and this is what I get to stare at. Not a bad view, huh?
Not a bad view at all. Indeed. It's turned into a tremendous weather day. We may have reached 85 degrees as I checked my weather app, and that's even warmer than I thought we were going to get up to, but not quite as humid as we're accustomed to seeing here in mid-June. It was actually sort of chilly this morning on the way in.
We had 34 teams between two age groups here, between the 10U and the 13U teams. We had 34 teams here. And I bet you that I was thanked by 20 of them for the perfect weather that I ordered up this weekend.
Yeah.
And I told them I try hard.
Right.
I got friends in low places, and I'm able to make these things happen.
Yeah. What you do is you pick a guy, and you always refer to that same guy. Because more times than not, people are going to gripe and complain about the weather.
Right.
So it'll be the same guy every time. Here's Will Parrish, Reese Montgomery, and Griff McCain, numbers 8, 9, and 10 in the lineup for North Carolina. That's right, you heard me. 8, 9, and 10. It's a youth baseball rule, travel ball select rule especially. Ground ball down to third. Have it pop out of your glove, stay with it, stay composed. Good play at third by Cabral.
Composure was key there for Cabral. Hot smash into his glove, bounced out. He didn't panic. He kept the ball in front of him, was able to pick it up, made a nice strong throw across the third base, and got his runner by a couple of steps.
Teams here in Travel Ball Select, they can bat 9 players, 10 players, or then the entirety of their roster. Nothing in between, nothing else.
Correct.
What's the max on roster again, 13 or 14?
Actually, this year we moved it up to 15.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
the max roster was 15.
I said it like that because it's changed a couple of times, and I've mentioned it on the air and got caught blind.
Yeah, well, you
without
know,
being updated on it, so I figured if I said 13 or 14, I'd cover my bases, and then you see what happened.
it's it's still a work in progress. Listen,
Sure.
we're always, just like we talked about technology, always
Yeah.
trying to improve and stay up with things. You know, when it comes to anything to do with the youth game and the aspects of it, you know, we try to stay up with it, and we want to make changes and keep up with everything that's going on, you know, across the country, not only here in Georgia, but across the country as well.
You got to be proactive as opposed to reactive.
Correct. Yeah.
Reese Montgomery at the plate. Montgomery, the right fielder for the North Carolinians. And he takes one off the plate to get back into the at-bat.
Well, I tell you, Gavin just does a real nice job here. Watch where the catcher sets up, and I tell you what, Gavin is within, you know, a few inches of being in there every time. Catcher comes inside, he busts him inside on the hands with a fastball. This, you know, that tells me he has control of his pitches, and he has a purpose on that mound.
Two and two. Scoreless ball game, top 3. Ruvalcaba kicks and fires. And this one smoked down the left field line. That ball curving down into the corner and foul. A hit apiece. Each team with no runs on 1 hit and no errors.
He come inside with the fastball here. See if you don't go with something soft in a way, or probably try to bounce a curveball here to try to get him, you know, try to mess up that timing here. He's going away right here.
Decided to go with a fastball. That's interesting. 3 in the last 4 pitches have been fastballs. 2 have been tight. 1 outside with off speed in between. What do you guess now?
3-2 count. Yeah, he's got to come right at him right here. He's going to go right down the heart of the plate. His best against the batter's best.
Well, give Reese Montgomery credit for being able to turn on something hard and inside. That is the second time that he's been able to turn and foul off a ball that, quite frankly, I thought was about to hit him on the hand.
Yeah, I thought the same as well.
Ruvalcaba kicks and fires. He does not offer, and the young man turns in a heck of an at-bat, drawing the base on balls. Second base runner of the ball game for North Carolina. First here in the 3rd inning, obviously. 1 man out and 1 man on. And here's Griff McCain.
Yeah, Reese had a great at-bat there. Fought off a couple of good pitches. Cabrera put him right where he wanted him on the inside. He fought him off, and he earned that walk.
Runner checked and safe.
Now we're going to go back to the cat and mouse game between the pitcher and the runner at first base. You know, he wants to get in scoring position here. The pitcher wants to keep him there. So you're going to see some thrown over a few times, and they're playing a little game here. See how long it takes for him to take off for second base.
Will this be the final ball game of the 2019 10U National Championships? Ground ball headed up the middle. Make a backhanded stop, get to the bag, step on top of it, and get the force. A tremendous defensive play by Carry-On.
Tremendous play. You see the ball go right up here in the middle, right past the pitcher. Rolls over the mound. Second baseman, great angle, backhand, slides down, has the presence of mind to get up. His shortstop's not there because he went for the ball too. Step on the bag for the force. Now we got 2 outs. This is the type of things I'm talking about with these 10-year-olds. They know what to do with the ball when it's hit to them.
The plays that you have to make without really thinking about it. Oh, that ball gets away. Breaking ball that didn't. Allowing the base runner, Griff McCain, to get down to the second base bag. 2 men out, 1 man on. He's now down at second base in scoring position with Whit McCammon at the plate.
It looked like Griff was going on first movement on that, and when Gavin lifted his leg and Griff took off, it seemed to distract him a little bit, and I think that's what caused the ball to go outside and high. I think he tried to rush it to the plate to help his catcher out and ended up at the backstop.
Runner breaking for the third base bag this time. It's tight. The throw down to third. Not in time. So a 2-0 count now on McCammon.
Did you see where the throw was from the catcher, though?
On the bag?
On the bag.
Right.
Right on the bag.
You're right. You know, you mentioned that to me. One of the first things we talked about when we came together today, how good the catchers have been, how sharp they've been, how impressive they've been in this 10U classification. And, brother, you've been right. Man, have they been good. Again, this becomes such a tired subject sometimes for us to talk about, but it is the truth. I mean, these 10-year-olds, I mean, they play like 12 and 13-year-olds from certainly when I was a youngster. And I know you're a shade older than I am. I'm in my 40s. But these 10-year-olds, I mean, they just play so instinctually well.
They
goes
do.
back to the point we were making a moment ago. They don't have to think about the plays the way kids used to.
Yeah, no, the training nowadays, the preparation that goes into this is totally different than it was, and it shows on the fields. The better teams that are putting in that time are the ones that are here this week.
2-2. Little cue shot into the bat, end of the bat, and falling in. Can he beat it out? They got him.
Case in point right there. Heads up play. Everybody in the whole park thought that was an RBI single.
Indeed.
Tremendous, tremendous job here. We're going to show the replay here right now.
McCammon down 9-3. How about that?
No hesitation by the right fielder. The ball comes in, he comes up throwing and gets him by half a step.
Yep.
Tremendous play to keep him off the board.
And the right call, by the way, by the field umpire. Bottom of the third coming up. Still scoreless. Pitcher to lead things off, Gavin Ruvalcaba. In the bottom half of the third inning, Florida and North Carolina for the national championship in 2019. Perhaps. If North Carolina does win this ball game, being a double elimination championship tournament, then we will play one more for the title. Ruvalcaba on the ground down to second. Fielded by Thompson. He'll throw across to Talmadge for out number one. Ruvalcaba retired 4-3 in his first plate appearance of the ball game. Here's Carlos Cantos. Cantos, the first baseman for IM Baseball from the state of Florida, an honorable mention ranked team across the country. Florida 29-19. They outscored their opponents inside of pool play. They posted a 4-0 mark in pool play. Again, 29-19. They finished as the number 3 seeded team after pool play.
Yeah, IM baseball kind of snuck in here under the radar a little bit.
At shortstop. 2 out.
Snuck in under the radar a little bit. Everybody knew about, the SBA Kings being number 1, Banditos being number 2. IM baseball come in here, did exactly what they were supposed to do during pool play, won all their games. Nothing flashy, not a lot of home runs, not any big scores and everything else. They just got the job done.
You knew they were a good team coming in and that they could put together a run, but my goodness, this has really been something. And I'll tell you, they've been even better in bracket play. 25-12, they've outscored their 3 opponents. And no slouches, oh, by the way. They beat Bravos of Texas 9-7. The Kennesaw Generals 10-0. And then this very same number 1 ranked North Carolina's SBA Futures 6-5 in their last ball game here yesterday.
So they've only knocked off 3 of the top 15 teams in the country.
No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Everybody does that, right?
Now, that's the type of thing you have to do when you're going to win a national championship. Oh, by the way, you know this as well as anybody, and since I've been around it a little bit as well, you find that becomes a common denominator for these teams, whether it's a bit of a surprising run or a dominant team that ends up fulfilling their dream of winning a national championship. You've got to pull off some big-time victories. 2-out double. And by by big victories, I mean you're going to have to beat a number 10 team in America, a number 4 team in America, then come back and beat a number 8 team in America.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is when you're putting together this run towards a national title.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The old adage, if you want to be the big dog, you got to beat the big dog.
Right.
And IM baseball has stepped up time and time again in this tournament to knock off the teams that are ahead of them.
Line drive, center field. Base hit, coming to the plate. Here's the throw, it's in time, and he's safe. He went around the tag. They may have a runner hung up at second base, but by the way, the second baseman, I don't want to pick on the young man, but he was so engrossed in the call at the plate and was so angry that the runner was safe. If he's paying attention and sneaks in behind the runner coming around second base, Alec Cruz, who drove in the run, they would have had him dead to rights.
Yeah, they would have had him dead to rights for sure. Travis is out there trying to, he's asking the umpire what he saw and why he called the runner safe.
RBI single, Alec Cruz drives in Kobe Carry-On for the first run of the ball game.
The ball definitely beat him there in time. There's no doubt about that, but evidently he must have missed a tag.
Well, get another great look at it. Catch is made, and I mean he's not even in the screen. Did he really avoid this tag? And well, you see the glove does not move here, Rick. I think he is going to be safe, but let me hit you with something before you begin your analysis. I got to ask you really quick. Even if he does avoid the tag, and I think he may have, is that not out of the baseline?
No, absolutely not. The runner establishes a baseline as he rounds third base. So, and you've got 3 feet,
he's
either
over the batter's
way.
box. You're right.
Yeah,
he's over the batter's
right there
box.
inside the batter's box. There's no doubt about that.
Wow. This is absolutely the right call. Man alive.
Yeah, and it kind of the catcher will tell you, right? Because look at what he does with the glove after the throw goes by.
Right.
He still tries to sweep tag him right here. Watch this. So it almost kind of tells me that the catcher knows he missed him.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And you see no bend in the glove either, and that will tell you that he was safe as well. So Florida has drawn first blood in the national championship game, or what could be the single national championship game. They lead 1-0 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Kobe Carry-On, a little 2-out magic. We talk a lot about leadoff runners,
Yep.
but if you're going to win a national championship, you got to have some 2-out magic as well. Carry-On with a 2-out double, and he comes around to score on a 2-out RBI single by Alec Cruz. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, wow. All right, guys. Rick, you want to run through this one?
Yeah, so, what it is right now is they're not challenging whether he's safe or out. What we've just been told, they're challenging with the runner leaving his feet. And they're going to be looking up the rule right here. I believe it has to say that he has to jump over someone. And I don't think that he jumped over anyone here. Again, it's just my opinion. You know, I'm just here giving commentary. The officials are going to look at it right now and take a look at it.
Is he attempting to jump over the tag? Because then wouldn't that qualify? Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying here, but from what I understand, and I've umpired for 27 years myself, and my interpretation over it is jumping over, and what you get into is if the player is laying on the ground like this with his glove over, can he jump over the arm? And the answer there is yes. So you're trying to avoid him from jumping over the body. Is the intent of the rule. Now, how I interpret it and how the home office is going to interpret it is two different types of things here. We'll take a look at it one more time. And if they slow it down right when it comes to about right here, you can see the catcher is in front of the plate here. The catcher's in front of the plate, so we have the line is wide open. So I'm not really sure what he's jumping over, to be honest with you. It's more like jumping around, I think. I'm not sure if he's jumping over anything.
It's close.
You know, this is going to be a tough one to call. You know, and unfortunately, you know, the angle that we have here is the only angle we have. You know, we don't have one down the line that might be able to help us out a little bit about what he jumped over. But to me, it looks like he jumped around the tag as opposed to over. And but you know, we'll let these guys make the decision here.
I think we're getting part of the work that's going on behind the scenes here is to make sure that we all know the record book, the rule book. Is he allowed to leave his feet? Is he allowed to hop over? Now we may have ourselves a decision coming in here. Here we go. We're gonna have a situation like we were explaining to you a little bit earlier, where literally right now the officiating crew is going to have the head of officials on FaceTime, and we're checking the replay. This is just a remarkable sight here inside the broadcast booth. We're running the replay for you all at home once again, or wherever you may be taking us in on Facebook Live. And literally the head of officials here in place has his cell phone in front of our monitor running our replay on FaceTime.
So they're communicating back and forth right now. They're telling him, you know, he's giving him his interpretation of the rule on what it is. And it sounds like I might have one right. It sounds
you were
like
due. No.
I was due.
No.
You're exactly right.
No, I'm just
the blind squirrel will find a nut once in a while, right?
I'm just getting your goat.
So,
hey, you got off to a hot start, remember?
I did.
You were 2 for 2, and then you had a little 2-3 game losing streak. So now you're back at 500. But you know, I'm getting your goat. But let's be serious because you're exactly right. I think you might be correct. They were talking about the maliciousness, if that's the actual phrase, of the slide. Explain that to everybody.
Yeah, so what it is in all levels of baseball, it's even transferred into the Major League Baseball. You know, basically it's the Buster Posey rule. And they don't want, you know, players, you know, basically trucking catchers anymore. So it's really the slide to avoid rule or the slide to give up rule and stuff like that. But you still cannot jump over a player. And let me kind of explain what happens here before is if the catcher is in front of the plate and literally like a gymnast, if the batter jumps over, if the runner jumps over the catcher, that's illegal. They cannot do that. You cannot leave your feet to jump over. But I think what we've got in this situation here, it's not something to jump over as much as it was to jump around. And I think that's where the umpires made their final decision on that, and that's why they're going to call him safe at the plate right here as we see the signal. Yep, we see the signal.
So it goes again as 2-out magic. Rubalcaba was retired on a 4-3 ground out. Carlos Cantos was retired on a 6-3 ground out. So 2 men were out in the inning. And then Kobe Carrion delivers a 2-out double. And he comes around to score on the RBI single by Alex Cruz, the center fielder at the top of the lineup. Ground out, double, single, all with 2 out. The two hits, I beg your pardon. And now Bladen Caraballo coming to the plate with a man at second. That is Cruz, who made his way down to the second base bag on the throw to the plate. Another man in scoring position with 2 men out.
Yeah, and I think the key to that whole play is the around or over.
Now let's see if we'll have a carbon copy type play. Throw to the plate. Not in time this time. 2-0. Florida. RBI single, Bladen Caraballo.
Well, right now, Travis should take a visit to the mound, kind of, get his composure back to the pitcher. SBA is not used to playing from behind. They're new to all of this, and he might want to just regroup the ship here a little bit and try to rewrite the ship and kind of calm them down here. So you might want to make a visit here.
I'm going to let McCain keep working through it, it looks like. David Saladino has come to the plate. Saladino, a strikeout victim in the first. He was caught looking to end the frame. Lefty deals, and he's plucked him. Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. I think that McCain may be just a tad bit shaken up here, and his concentration may be broken in this moment.
Yeah, just something to get him calmed down here a little bit.
Just a simple breather.
Just a simple breather. Yeah, that would help out tremendously here. But Travis is going to let him try to work through it. At some point, you have to do that. You have to let them try to work through it and figure it out on their own. Let's hope the young man can gain his composure here and finish the inning here.
McCain kicks and fires as he's now facing Mark Asensio. Throw to the plate is cut off. Run scores, second and third. Still 2 men out. Caraballo scores a run. 3 in the inning. 3-0 Florida.
3 consecutive singles right up the middle, and here comes Travis now. Travis was trying to give him an opportunity to try to work through it. Now he's going to go out here and try to talk to the young man. 3 runs at this stage in the game, and now you're halfway through the game. You want to make sure that we stop it right here, get settled, get that third out. Now we got to get that third out, get your team, get them regrouped in the dugout here.
Yeah, and the other big thing that I noticed, Rick, as well, all 3 of the hits right up the middle.
Right up the middle.
Squared up.
Yep, squared up right up the middle. And that could just be something as simple as dominant as he was in the first couple innings. Actually, for the first 2 2/3 innings, now all of a sudden, he's a little rattled. He might be bringing it, leaking it back over the middle of the plate. And, IM Baseball, to their credit, they're squaring him up here, and they've put up a 3 spot here in the bottom of the third. Well, this becomes a big bat right here in the third inning. Another single will probably plate 2 runs and make it a huge 5-0 lead. But if we can get an out here, they can get back in the dugout, regroup, and battle. 3-0 is not insurmountable, but 5-0 at this point, you got to think that it's going to seem like a mountain if they put up a 5 spot right here.
Yeah, by the way, remember, we're at the midway point of this ball game now. Alejandro Cabral. Strikeout victim his first time up. He was caught looking. There's a strike on the inside corner. Looking, 0-2. So 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. 2 ground outs to start the inning. Then a double, 2 singles, an HBP, and another single. Lefty kicks and fires. Now a cue shot off the end of the bat and foul.
Great pitch there. That was a tremendous pitch. That was a pitch that probably 9 times out of 10 he gets an out on that pitch. With an 0-2 count, but the young man at the plate did a nice job of fouling that one off.
8th man to the plate in the inning. Now all of a sudden 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors for Florida.
1-2, he just came inside. Let's see if he tries to go back away. Yep, there it is.
Great call, Rick, and that was a beautiful pitch. But 2 out magic, 2 out hits are gold. A double, 2 singles, an HBP, and then another RBI single. 3 plate in the inning. Florida now 9 outs away. You don't want to start the countdown yet, but they still lead 3-0, 9 outs away from a national title. It'll be Matty Carroll, the left fielder, Tyler Newell, the shortstop, and Eli Webb, the catcher. Numbers 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for North Carolina. In this, the top half of the fourth inning, we move into the back half of the ball game now, and the men from the Tar Heel State now trail 3-0. Completely different complexion to this ball game from the last time they were at the plate. You got to start to go to work now if you're North Carolina.
Both teams have an agenda right now, and you know, it goes without saying they're opposite agendas. You know, IM baseball, after scoring 3, they want to come out here. They want to put up a 0 for this half of the inning. And right now, SBA is just looking to crack that scoreboard, put up that crooked number, and put a 1 up there, and you know, just make a dent into this game right here.
At third, on the tough hop, throw across for the out. Cabral with the 5-3 put out of Carroll.
Oh, Cabral made that look so simple, didn't he?
Gee.
I mean, the short hop, he played it right in there, took his time, set his feet, fired across the diamond. That's an amazing play, you know, for a 10-year-old.
And so big to get the leadoff man.
The leadoff man, yeah. We've talked about that many, many, many times.
Tyler Newell now, the shortstop for North Carolina. He 0 for 1. Trying not to be 0 for 2, and the shortstop says not so fast. A 4-3 ground out and a 6-3 ground out for Newell. A fine defensive play by Caballero. Here's Eli Webb. It's a big moment in the ball game. You've just gotten 3 runs. If you're Florida, you've just plated 3 runs, and you come back into the next half inning defensively, and if you can get through this inning without a run scoring, you keep that momentum that you've seized. And if you can go 1, 2, 3 while out in the field, you're seizing even more momentum, and you're getting your offense back out to the plate very quickly.
Not only are you going 1, 2, 3, but the way you do it with 2 tremendous defensive plays by the third baseman and the shortstop.
Yep.
So momentum is one thing, but to shut it and add to it from that, the boys from IM Florida, and I mean IM baseball out of Miami, Florida, have to be on a high right now.
At short, Caballero, and the inning over. Eli Webb retired on the 6-3 ground out. 3 quick ground outs in the top half of the fourth. Still 3-0. Martin Wade, Matthew Fernandez, and Gavin Ruval Caba. Easy for me to say.
Right.
Bottom half of the fourth. That's what 4 games worth of broadcasting will do to you in one
Yeah.
day.
It all starts running together at some point, right?
Yeah, but I love every minute of it, and I know you do as well. And
Oh.
it's an honor and privilege to be here for the 2019 Travel Ball Select National Championships. This year in the 10U classification, our broadcasts here on Facebook Live, alongside Rick Goff, the Executive Director of Travel Ball Select. I'm Chris Mooneyham from The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM in Atlanta. Atlanta Sports Talk leader. They programmed me to say that. I have to add that last part on there. Atlanta
It's in your
Sports Talk
contract.
leader, right?
Right, it's in your contract.
Wade hit by a pitch his first time up. That was back in the 2nd inning. McCain into the at-bat at 3-1 now. How about McCain back out there? Coach showing a lot of patience, a lot of confidence in McCain, who got a piece of that one. And your ho-hum 1-4-3 put out.
1-4-3.
No big deal.
If they run the replay back at this, watch how quick Thompson gets rid of the ball. Watch this here. It's almost like he throws it from the ground here. Deflects off to the pitcher, second baseman, and it's just so quick, all in one motion. Getting by a step. Great play.
I probably knew that he needed to, right, with the
Sure.
speed of Wade. Matthew Fernandez now. His pop up to the shortstop was the final out of the 2nd inning.
I'm sure in between innings, Griff come off the mound and Travis was talking to him over there and telling him, hey, you know what, we're a good team. We've come from behind before, and we're capable of scoring runs. So you need to go out there, do a job, hold them at 3. Try to keep it at that, and give us a shot here to come back in the last few innings.
Left center field. This ball going to fall in for a base hit and head all the way to the wall. Can Fernandez get a double out of it? No, sir. He'll retreat back to the first base bag and post up at the first sack with his first base hit of the ball game. So Fernandez a 1-for-2 day, and here is Gavin Ruvalcaba.
We got Kenneth Bencomo, number 7. He's coming into courtesy run for the catcher. Not a substitution. In youth baseball, we allow courtesy runners for the pitcher and catcher to get those young men off the field, especially the catchers. They can go back in and get their gear on. We can keep the game moving. So it's not a substitution, just a courtesy runner.
Ruvalcaba has been good. At the plate, he's 0-for-1 with a ground out to the second baseman, but on the mound, giving up just 1 hit and 1 walk.
I gotta believe as a pitcher, Ruvalcaba, he's throwing such a good game right now. I think guys like that are usually more focused on their job, on pitching, and it's almost when they're going that group, they just want to get that bat over with and get back on the mound.
1-2 count. Griff McCain looks in, finds his sign that he likes, checks a runner and deals. And this one popped up left side and out of play. With 1 man out, Rick, this will give us a good opportunity. Let's one more time thank everybody here at the Lake Point Sports Complex for this marriage that has been birthed this year, put together. I know how you feel about it. We've talked about it personally. Privately, you and I have talked about it. You've talked about it on the air as well. Let me throw my 2 cents in. This is actually my first time at Lake Point.
Oh, really?
My very first time, and it's been a pleasure to be here, first class it seems, through my first day of working here. And so thanks for having us from yours truly to Lake Point and putting on a first class production here. And then I know you have some very strong thoughts on it.
I do. It's something that developed back in December, and the opportunity arose to partner up with PBR and Lake Point Sports out here to bring youth events out here to the complex, and it's just been a wonderful experience for everyone involved. I want to thank Sean Duncan, Matt Yarber, Kyle Coletta, our head umpire guys out here, Dustin Manning, Damon Watson. They do a tremendous job for us out here, and makes our jobs a lot easier. And I want to thank them all.
No way. Now he beat it out this time.
Yeah, he got that one.
Wondered if we were going to see our second 9-3 putout of this ball game, but Ruvalcaba is able to beat it out, got himself a base hit, 2 men on with 1 man out.
Yeah, it was close. We'll watch the replay here real quick. Again, ground ball to the right side. You always have to be prepared, be going down the line to watch for this play at first base here, and it was definitely close.
Whoa.
It's definitely close. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the glove hadn't closed yet.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's out of Travis is out of challenges. He can't challenge anymore. He's already challenged 2 times.
Won the first and lost the second, right?
And I think that's what they're discussing right here. I think Travis is asking if he does have a challenge available, but he doesn't. He's out of challenges.
We'll have the head of officials head on down there, and they're going to come down and have a conversation.
Well, this will give me a minute to kind of finish up my train of thought here on the thanks for Lake Point and everybody that does on here, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes. My staff, I appreciate them, and particularly, Jason Goff came down this weekend and helped us out. Alexis Goff was a pleasure.
Who?
Alexis Goff.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. And for those of you that know, she's a handful, to say the least. But the old adage is it's you can find help anywhere,
right?
But good help is hard to find.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so that's what we're trying to strive for. So,
the look on her face.
My video photographer and everything else, Robin Hill, does a great job on doing all this stuff for us here. And so I just want to thank them enough. I'm sure I don't tell them enough. I appreciate the job they do for me and for Travel Ball Select. So kudos to those guys.
So after the meeting with the officials, runners at first and second, Wade started the inning with a ground out. Then consecutive singles by Fernandez and Ruvalcaba. They're at first and second with Carlos Cantos to the plate. Cantos, the first baseman for Florida. He was retired on a ground out to the shortstop just last inning. A lot of men to the plate in the last few innings for Florida. Breaking ball stays high and a little too tight, most likely. So McCain falls behind in the count 1-0. 2 men on and 1 man out. Had 8 men come to the plate last inning. And that second inning could have been far worse. They had 2 men on and both guys were stranded, or to be more precise, you had a caught stealing and a man stranded after being hit by a pitch. That one nearly catches Carlos. He's able to dance out of the way and collect a 2-1 count. Big moment in this ball game. Outside corner strike. 2-2 count. If you're North Carolina, you have to keep this at a 3-0 deficit.
Yeah, he's got himself in trouble again like he did the last inning here, and he's got to try to work his way out of it. Right now, he's just 1 out. Just get him one out at a time, and try to minimize the damage here. No matter how you get it, strikeout, ground up, pop up, you just got to get 1 out. Takes a little bit of pressure on him. It's a lot tougher to pitch with 1 out and runners on as opposed to 2 outs and runners on.
Set and deals. And it's sent down the right field line. That ball curving, and it stays fair and hops over the wall for a ground rule double. That's going to plate run. put runners at second and third and make it 4-0. A run scored for Matthew Fernandez. An RBI double for Contos. And we still got a little ways to go in this ball game, just past the halfway mark, but North Carolina's in a little bit of trouble in the fourth.
This might be the end of the day here as Travis walks out to the mound. It looks like he's going to make a pitching change here.
And indeed he will. So the book, of course, remains open on Griff McCain, as the two men on the base paths belong to him, but we'll give you his updated numbers, or his numbers as of right now, probably a little bit better way of putting it. Tyler Newell, by the way, will be the new man on the mound, as you see Tyler, formerly the shortstop for his club. He'll be the new man on the mound for North Carolina. But the numbers, at least as of right now on McCain, 3 1/3 innings worth of work, where he gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, all 4 of which earned. He had no walks, 4 strikeouts, and he hit 2 men as well. Look at this play. How about it? So 5-0. Runner breaking from the first base bag. Newell kicks and fires. And Cruz sends one down the right field line. That one going to be foul. So North Carolina in a big pot of trouble here now. 2 men in scoring position.
Yeah, 2 men on. Still only 1 out.
Yep.
We've already had a pitching change here.
Center field. Will this be deep enough to score a run? I'm not so sure. Make the tag and then head back to the bag is Contos.
Yeah, there's no chance or no need, I guess I should say, for IM at this point to take any kind of risks, whatsoever on the base path. They got a 5-0 lead. trust their hitting, trust their players when they come to the plate to drive in these runs. Right now, that momentum is going in their favor, and they just need to keep taking advantage of it. Don't do anything to potentially turn the momentum the other way.
Outside corner. Good pitch there by Newell. To Bladen Caballero, I beg your pardon. Caballero with 2 men on and 2 men out. 5-0, still not insurmountable. With 3 at-bats, 2 out at-bats to play.
Not when you're the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
I mean, it's you don't get that moniker for smoke and mirrors.
Right.
You've got to be able to do some of these things like this and overcome.
Having said that, a base hit to make it 7-0 here. That would seriously diminish their efforts to make a comeback. Fielded at first. Talmadge going to flip to Newell, covering the first base bag, and they've got him.
Nice play.
To retire the side. So 3-1 with the pitcher covering. Caballero is retired. The 5th inning from Metro Atlanta. North Carolina to the plate with 2 at-bats remaining. John Hucko to lead things off.
Yeah, Travis's messages right now to his players are pretty simple. We need to score 2 or 3 runs here, cut this in half, and try to make up the deficit in the 6th inning. So that's the goal right now is just to put on 2 or 3 runs here and then kind of go from there.
Star of the ball game could be Gavin Ruvalcaba. He has held the number 1 team in America, the SBA Futures from North Carolina, to just 1 hit in the ball game. At short, 1 man gone. Just 1 hit in the ball game. And in fact, he's retired. Let me double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive men.
That's impressive.
Had a walk in the 3rd, gave up a base hit in the 2nd. No other men to reach in the ball game.
He's been in complete control of this whole game. We've talked about his knack for hitting the outside corner, and there it is right there, right on cue. He's calm, cool, composed on the mound, and but again, it's also a lot easier to pitch with a 5-0 lead as opposed to being in a tight ball game. So that allows him a little bit more freedom.
Brax Thompson offers it an off-speed pitch and comes away empty. Brax. Well, sometimes a conversation just happens to work out in your favor as a broadcaster. He was the man who delivered that lone base hit in the ball game back in the 2nd inning. Without that, Kubalyaba be looking at a potential no-hitter here. But as it is, Gavin will settle for a 1-hit shutout.
Gavin seems to be working the same. He's moving them in, out, in. So if he follows the pattern here, this one should be in.
Here comes his 1-2. Indeed.
And now he'll follows that pattern. It looks like he's going to be trying to go away here. It's almost like that inside pitch is more of a setup pitch than anything, and then he wants to get him on the outside here. Let's see what the catcher does here. See if he slides out here. No, he's going to come back inside here.
He's been so great in this ball game, has Ruvalcaba. You know he only has one strikeout in this ball game?
Pitch to contact, right?
Unbelievable.
That's let your fielders do the work. Trust your defenders.
Another thing that's so hard to teach young pitchers. Let the fielders make the play. Everybody wants to strike out everybody at this age nowadays.
Strikeouts are boring. They're fascist.
They want to strike everybody out.
I love to quote movies, right? So that's from Bull
Oh,
Durham.
yeah. 3-2 count. Here it comes. And it's popped up, middle of the diamond. Gavin going to call it off himself and make the catch. Pop up one.
Boy, the boys from SBA Futures have just not been able to figure him out. They cannot. They haven't been able to barrel up anything he's thrown. He's changing his speeds and his locations extremely well, and they are completely baffled here.
Off balance, haven't they been?
Yeah.
Hayden Talmadge now, the first baseman. The left-hander. Lefty on lefty matchup, and this one sent down the left field line and foul. We may have seen two balls that have been hit really well against Ruvalcaba in this ball game. Maybe.
Well, a few innings ago, he got a lot of help from his defense. Remember, back-to-back plays, nice plays by the third baseman and the shortstop.
No play at first. And Talmadge is going to reach with the second base hit of the ball game. This one coming with 2 men out. But the last time they came up with their first base hit of the ball game, that was also with 2 men out. The next man was retired, and there was no threat of a score.
Big difference with a leadoff runner or a runner with 2 outs. You got a lot of room for error here.
Here's Parrish. You mentioned it earlier. He's one of their power guys. They would love to see some lightning strike here to get to 5-2.
Yeah, curious to see how he's going to approach Parrish here with 2 outs. If he's going to challenge him or maybe try to get himself out with a couple of pitches, try to have him get himself out. And here he goes back away again, staying true to his pattern.
He catches that outside corner. Home plate umpire willing to give the black if the spot is hit, the spot that's set up by the catcher.
He's been consistent with that call all day long.
Reason you haven't heard a word out of yours truly. I don't mind a high strike zone, a low strike zone, a wide strike zone. Just be consistent with it, brother. Be
consistent. And you talk to youth coaches all over the country, and they want the same thing.
Yep. Of course, I'd like you to call the rule book, but I digress. Pitch. Chopper at third. Could be a tough play. Bob it a little bit. Go the short route and get the force. No, wait a minute. They will call him safe. Was that ball dropped as well?
Yeah, he dropped that ball, Chris. He dropped the ball,
pardon.
and once again, the umpire, it looks like he's making an out call, but he's actually pointing to the ground. So it's given us a little confusion here in the booth.
Yeah, and I could not see that baseball. I'll beg your pardon.
But, yeah, there it was.
Drowned it out in the white pants of IM Baseball's Florida club. Well, here's your opportunity.
I think if the young man had to do that over again, he probably wished he went across the diamond to first base.
Yeah. Here's your opportunity if you're North Carolina. Reese Montgomery at the plate, the right fielder. Walked his last time up, his only time up. Base hit could make it manageable in the final frame if you get there. Extra base hit could make it, realistic, a comeback in the final frame. Problem is for North Carolina, 2 men out in the inning. Big fly would change the feel of the final inning completely.
I give Gavin a lot of credit there. You know, his third baseman just made an error, or second baseman, just made an error dropping the ball. You know, at 10 years old, it's real easy for kids to get rattled and get discouraged and everything else, but he gets back on the mound and throws a strike right off the bat to him.
Oh, boy, how about that? The straight still at third belonging to Talmadge. But as the ball is dropped, I'm going to tell you something. That was a delayed steal or a decision to go after the ball was dropped by Parrish, and he was able to swipe second base. So base hit would be big here. Kick and fire. Ground ball at second. Stay with it. Throw to first. Inning over. Montgomery retired 4-3. The first real scoring threat of the ball game for SBA Futures of North Carolina. But the number one team in the country is set down once more. They stay scoreless. It's 5-0. Florida to the plate, bottom half of the fifth, with an opportunity to try and add to their 5-0 lead, which is not insurmountable, but sort of feels like it. One way or another, they'll try to add to the tally sheet with David Saladino, Mark Asensio, and Alejandro Cabral. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup here in the fifth. That's a fair ball. Leadoff man aboard in the fifth.
I tell you, they call it the hot corner for a reason. This was a hot smash down the third baseline, and he tried to backhand it and wasn't able to keep it in front of him. Bounces off his glove into foul territory, and the Futures catch a break because I think the runner thought that he come up with it, and so he was trying to hustle down the line to beat out an infield ball, and so they caught a break holding him there at first base.
You want me to score that an error, don't you?
Oh man,
Give him a hit.
Yeah, I can give him a hit on that. I can give him a hit on that one. I can give him a hit on that one.
Here's Asensio.
That one was a hot smash. The one earlier was a two-hopper that he chose to get out of the way of.
Well,
there's a little difference.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I caved on that one the way you caved on this one. Reluctantly.
Right.
I'm sure if you ask Travis and if you ask the third baseman, they're going to both tell you they should have made that play.
True. Absolutely. Mark Asensio. Saladino did reach. We'll give him the infield single. Last time he was up before that plate appearance, he reached on an HBP. Now Mark Asensio with a pop-up and a retirement at first base. First time he's been retired in the ball game. After singles in the second and third innings. And here's Alejandro Cabral. Quite the opposite day for Cabral. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He's looking to reach for his first time. Runner breaking. Throw down at the second base bag. A one hopper. Good job by the shortstop to back it up. Keep it from getting into center field, but a stolen base nonetheless for David Saladino.
Saladino just timed him up here. He got a great jump off first base. Again, another stolen base that was stolen off the pitcher, and Saladino timed his jump perfectly.
Strike. Martin Wade on deck. Barring a double play of some sort. Now 5 runs on 10 hits for the steamrolling Florida club. That again, we mentioned it earlier in the ball game, and Rick knows these teams as well across the country as anybody does. And I said it to him, and he agreed. I asked if that was a correct assessment. You knew this was a really good team coming in to the national championships.
Absolutely.
They were honorable mention as far as the national rankings go. Cabral, by the way, down on strikeouts for the 3rd time in the ball game, this time swinging. Here's Martin Wade. HBP in the 2nd, out 1-4-3 in the 4th. But for them to win this national championship still, if they go on to win it, and they're 3 outs away from doing just that, still a bit of a surprise. Third baseman makes a catch, and that will retire the side. Let's go ahead and keep it here as we make our way now to the top half of the 6th inning, what could be the final outs of this national championship. It'll be quite a story if the men from Florida are able to win the national championship here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, it would be a tremendous ending to this week for those young men. Coming in, like I said, IM Baseball was trying to he talked to me beforehand. He's like, listen, Rick, we just want to sneak under the radar. Everybody knows about the Futures and the Banditos and the Bravos and the Kennesaw Generals of the world and all the other teams that are ranked, and nobody really knows about us. And he goes, you know what, honestly, I want to keep it that way. Maybe we don't get everybody's best pitcher when they face us, and they save them for those other teams when they have to play them. And so he was very low-keeled about it. He was trying to play it off about how good his team actually was. And at the end of the day, no matter what you do or what you say, you got to come out on the field and you got to perform. And they've done that for the last 5 days. And I can guarantee you this, and we'll talk about it in postgame with him. He's not going to sneak up on anybody anymore if he hangs on to this lead, that's for sure.
The championship run, it's been a buzzsaw-type performance, especially if this team comes in and does not lose a ball game.
Right. Facing this type of competition and what he did in the championship bracket round and the teams that he beat.
Again, 4-0 inside of pool play. And then if they win this ball game, now they'll be 4-0 inside of bracketed play, 8-0, 5-0 in this ball game. That'll push them up to, let me make sure I've got this math correctly, 59 runs in the 8 ball games.
And he's going to own 2 victories, 2 over the number 1 team in the country.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's a great point.
And I can guarantee you, with the way social media is today and technology is today, teams in California know what's going on right here, right now in this game. There's no doubt about it.
And so we begin this potential final inning, as it'll be Griff McCain at the bottom of the lineup, then back to the top in Whit McCammon and Matty Carroll. That's your guaranteed 3, or at least your scheduled 3. Here in the potential top half of the final inning. 5-0. Florida leads North Carolina. Square to bunt. Get it down. It's a nice one. Fielded. Throw. Not in time.
You got to start somewhere. And there it is right there. Did something a little bit different. We talked about this in a previous game. When a pitcher is in such a groove as Gavin was, you've got to do something to get him off his game. Now we're going to make him throw from the stretch a little bit. He may become a different pitcher from the stretch. Put a little pressure on him here, and 1 base at a time, 1 run at a time, and we'll see what happens.
Now Whit McCammon. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the SBA Futures of North Carolina. 0-3-0. For Florida, the boys from IM Baseball, 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. 5-10-0 to right. And deep, well hit, moving back on it, back, make the catch.
Might have a double
Saladino,
play.
throw to first. Not this time. Good job backing it up. Two players come together. One man out, one man on. F9 on McCammon.
I tell you what, if I was a coach of IM baseball right now, I would just give a courtesy hold at first base. The outs are more important now. I would let that runner steal second. He could steal third. He could steal home if he wanted. Right now, my focus is on getting outs. Trading outs for runs right here is crucial.
Especially with this size of a lead. That one bouncing up there, getting through the catcher, Fernandez. And there you have it.
I would take time right now, and I'd walk out and I'd tell Gavin, I'd say, listen, all you want to focus on is the batters. I don't care about that runner out there right now. You're 2 outs away from securing a victory for us in a national championship. I don't even want you to look at the runner. I don't want you to pay attention to him. I want you focused on the batter and locked into that zone.
Ruvalcaba looks in and fires as the runner is allowed to move down to the third base bag and swipe it. Carroll at the plate. This is Matty Carroll with one man out. And now a runner at third base.
Actually, I think SBA might have did him a favor there because now he won't pay attention. As he's going from the windup, he won't pay attention to him now.
Carroll 0 for 2. Right field side and foul.
Now you've allowed Gavin to get back into the windup, which he's been so dominant for the whole game. So I think stealing third base might have been a small mistake here by the Futures. They could have left him at second base, forced Gavin to throw out of the stretch, and he's a different pitcher.
Lefty shakes off a couple, now agrees, and comes from the aforementioned windup. Cut on and missed. Or, well, actually, they'll say he got a piece of it. Stay 1-2. Chatter's picked up, as you would imagine, down in the crowd. How many folks from the Sunshine State believe their team was going to be able to get out of here with a national championship this week? 1-2. Chopper at third. Play that tough hop one more time, young man. Holy smokes.
That's the third time he's played that hop like that and without any hesitation. Well, I can tell you what, Chris, I'm looking down into the crowd here below us now, and people are standing. They're pacing behind the seats or on the edge of their seats here. They can taste it here. They know they're 1 out away, and they're just dying to explode down here.
A lot of proud mamas and papas. McCain does score on the play, by the way, so the shutout is gone. It's 5-1, but 2 men gone, and here's Tyler Newell. Florida 1 out away from the national title, and the first one is high and tight. That's ball 1. Newell a couple of ground outs, 4-3. He tested the second baseman and lost that battle to end the first frame. His ground out to the shortstop came in the middle of the fourth. Ruvalcaba looks in and fires. Fastball that stays, just shade high. What a great moment this will be for these young men if they can hold on to this 4-run lead with 2 men out. Lefty winds and deals.
Gavin might be feeling that adrenaline pumping here a little bit, trying to overthrow it. He just needs to get his composure back. Take a deep breath here, young man, and do what you've been doing the entire game and let the results take care of itself.
He's back into the at-bat at 3-1. What does this do for a program, by the way? Garnering that national attention. Outside corner, called strike 2. You talked about this program. You may be seeing the budding beginning. It's a brand new first-year program?
First-year team.
Right, first-year team.
Yeah.
3-2. At short. Caballero across, and they can't quite dig it out. Pull the first baseman off the bag, and we'll play on. You think he knew?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I looked down there as that play was being developed and as the shortstop's throwing it across to the diamond, and I was watching parents jump out of their seats. They were ready to celebrate. They were ready to celebrate. But as good as that young man has been the whole game, I think he might have squeezed that one a little bit, and he threw it down and low and in the dirt. I think this is a great mound visit here by Rafael right here as he goes out there and He just wants to talk to him, I think. I don't think he's going to pull him out here. I think he just wants him to get his composure here, bite down and chew down for one more time here. And all we need is one more out, boys. That's kind of the message he's sending to him right now.
Newell reaches on an E6. He's aboard with 2 men out. Eli Webb will be the batter. A strikeout victim to start the second inning. A ground-out victim, 6-3 to end the fourth. It's been a masterful performance for Gavin Ruvalcaba, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits. 1 strikeout, no walks, no hit batters. 1 walk, I beg your pardon. 1 walk in the ball game for Ruvalcaba. Lefty set and deal. And the first offering to the backstop for North Carolina, wide of the plate.
He seems to be showing a little fatigue there. He kind of bent over at the waist there and put his hands on his knees. This might be his last batter regardless of what happens. Of course, that's an out. It's the end of the game. But if this man reaches here, I expect to see a pitching change.
Strike. 1-1 count.
He's going to give this young man every opportunity to finish this ball game.
Absolutely. He has been masterful against one of the best offenses in America. The number 1 team in America. 1-2 count.
When I look down here and the parents are back on the edge of the seats again, they're pacing up and down. They're ready one more time here.
Gavin shakes a couple off and now brings home a 1-2. And it's shot foul out of play. Sun starting to set back here behind us in the northwest portion of the great state of Georgia. It's been a great week of weather here in the Empire State of the South, and we thank you all for those of you that have come down to Atlanta to take in the festivities. That one foul.
Two count here. 1-2 count here. He's typically it's an inside count for Gavin. He likes to go inside on the 1-2 counts. Let's see if he holds true. Nope, he's going to go back. Looks like on the outside here a little bit.
A little low, as in the dirt. And a 2-2 count. Runner advances down to the second base bag. That's Newell. 130 from the plate.
I got to believe that was more of a setup pitch than anything here. Kind of a waste pitch. Kind of set him up for what he wants to do right here. See if you don't try to go hard away right here and try to get the swinging strike to end the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Man at second. Gavin kicks and fires. Popped him up. Headed on the right side. And into the screen. So we'll do it again.
He did exactly what I figured. Challenged him with a fastball in the outside corner of the plate. Trying to get that swinging miss or just a weak ground ball to the right side.
If you're North Carolina, you need to string together some hits. Youth baseball, you really concentrate on trying to get that tying run to the plate. Once again, the 2-2. Ground ball foul left side this time.
He's battling.
There's no other way this championship could end.
Webb's not going down easy. I tell you what, he's getting his cuts in there, and again, we talked about this before. The longer these types of at bats go, the more it favors the hitter because he gets to see the delivery and the release point over and over again. So right now, even though the count's 2-2, I'd say the advantage has to go to Webb right here.
Off the corner and low, and it's now run to 3-2.
What a great job, a great take there by Webb.
What will they decide to come with here? Doesn't it have to be the fastball on 3-2? Lefty deals. And he lost him. This ball game is not over yet. Runners at first and second with 2 men out now. And the tying run moves on deck, and that will force, of course, As you now see on your screen, a pitching change. We'll take ourselves a quick audio break, and when we come back, we'll give you the particulars next. Well, it's not quite over yet. Kobe Carrion coming off of the Keystone and headed to the mound to take over for Gavin Ruvalcaba. Ruvalcaba so very good on the mound today for his Florida squad from IM Baseball in their effort to take out the #1 team in America, the SBA Futures program from North Carolina. Right now the numbers on Ruvalcaba: 5 2/3 innings, where he's given up 4 hits, 1 run, it was earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Again, the numbers as of right now, because remember, of course, the 2 runners on the base paths belong to Gavin Ruvalcaba, but for now, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, it was earned, a strikeout, 2 walks in the ball game. And so John Hucko to the plate. John, a walk, a reach on E, a base hit away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Wouldn't that be a development? That ball in the dirt, and it's 1-0.
Well, this goes back to what we talked about. I mean, you're not the #1 team in the country for nothing. And now you're 1 batter away from bringing a tying run to the plate in a game that you were in control of for 5 2/3 innings.
Yeah. Tack on runs, too. We talk about tack on runs, insurance runs all the time. This could have easily been just a 3-0 ball game, or a 3-1 ball game now, as it were. But those 2 runs that were put on the board by Florida in the 4th inning, we knew when they came across just how big they were.
Yeah, they loomed large for sure.
Carrion looks in, and he'll kick and fire to the left-handed hitting center fielder. A ball that bounces up there and makes it 2-0. Brax Thompson is on deck. He has a hit in the ball game. Hucko 0 for 2 with a ground out to the second baseman and a line out, a solid lash that he hit down to the shortstop just last inning. Makes him throw him a strike. Carrion obliges, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, that's a good piece of hitting right there. You got to walk up there. You got to make him throw you a strike. He's taken the whole way until he gets a strike. Now he's going to dig in here and try to get the job done.
Now the at-bat begins.
Correct.
Stays high, and it is 3-1. We are a ball away from the tying run coming to the plate. 3-2. Would you have it any other way?
Wouldn't have it any other way. The runners will be in motion with the pitch.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 men on in the final inning, perhaps, of a 4-run ball game. Carry on, kicks and fires, and it's shot out into left. Moving over and making the catch is Wade. And Florida from IM Baseball wins the 2019 10U Travel Ball Select National Championship.
What a tremendous game. The boys from North Carolina battled to the very end. They didn't make it easy for sure, and they can hold their heads high. They had a tremendous week out here. And but IM Baseball, they talk about it's all about getting hot at the right time, right? You'd rather get hot in June than you would in March, and those boys right now are playing really, really good baseball.
What a tremendous run it was, undefeated inside of pool play, and now undefeated inside of bracketed play, where they took out a nationally ranked couple of clubs and twice took down the #1 team in America. Rick, your final thoughts? Thanks for having us, man. This has been another great experience. Your final thoughts on the week here in Metro Atlanta.
Boy, I couldn't have asked for anything better than what we got this week in the 10-year-old division. I mean, just incredible baseball from beginning to end. There's a reason why the 10-year-old Travel Ball National Championship is the most competitive baseball tournament in the country, and these teams here proved it. Unbelievable display by these young men. Class organizations by the coaches, the fans, and the players all. Hats off to both of them. They did a tremendous job, and as a director, from a director standpoint, I am thrilled and honored to be able to watch these kids play, not only in this game, but for the whole week, and that goes for all the teams that was here. Just a great job.
Speaking of director, kudos to our producer, director in charge of the broadcast throughout the day today, Amy Walker, and our entire crew. Thanks, guys. You were absolutely tremendous today.
Yes, thank you.
And those are not just, words that I'm throwing out there. You guys, as always, were absolutely incredible. For Rick Goff, the Executive Director of Travel Ball Select, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You've been watching the 2019 10U Travel Ball Select National Championships. The national champion in 2019, IM Baseball, from the state of Florida. Good day, everybody.